Hey everybody, welcome to the Craft Hour. I'm so glad to see all of you. We're live and on the air. It is such a pleasure. We are having a great time meeting a brand new maker. We're live and on the air with some technical difficulties out of the gate, but that's the magic of live, right? That's what we do. We're so glad to have you. The Craft Hour can't be anything without each of you, and we're so glad to have you. Craft Hour, of course, comes to you every other Saturday, and we have a blast meeting to you, getting connective with everything from pop culture to great Craft Hour products from Pink Fresh Studio. Hey, look who's on camera with me. This is the amazing Betty Wright from North Carolina. Hey, Betty, how are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having
Good.
me.
Well, I'm so glad that you're here. So we'll go ahead and tell everybody what just happened. We had rehearsed. We had gotten a 2-camera shot, one of your desktop and one of this front-facing camera that you're using right now. And sadly, your camera battery died right before the show. So we only have this one shot of you that we're going to tilt the camera down. I'll work from my desktop and we'll have fun because today with the Craft Hour, we want to meet you and get to know you. So can you breathe just a minute? Can you hang in there? You okay?
Yes. I charged it all night. I really did.
Yes, you charged it all right. And you're used to this, right? Because you're a high school teacher from North Carolina who's a well-known card maker with many craft companies, some that are still with us, some that have since sadly not made it. But you're used to having to teach on camera. Have you gotten used to it during this pandemic?
Yes. I mean, I think right now the difficult part is having some kids in the class and some still remote and having to wear a mask during Zoom. I think that makes it a lot harder. But yes, I think that's the only reason
Sure.
I volunteered to do this is because I got so used to Zooming.
Right? We've all kind of gotten out of our comfort zone over this year. Hi to our moderator in the sky, not coming from her home location, but remotely on a little holiday to Texas, I believe. Leah joins us today. I know that she's already said hi in the chats, and I know that she's glad to be here. Heather, of course, is watching from afar as well. So on behalf of all of us, welcome to the Craft Hour. If you're new here, we'd love to know about it. Just hashtag new, so I can be sure to say hi to you in the comments. The other thing is that I would love for you to share this. Share this with all of your social media platforms, whether that's Facebook, Instagram, your favorite craft group, whatever it may be. If they allow for it, share it. We'd love to get more viewers and eyes here. And if you like what you see, don't forget that we have a whole series here of Craft Hour with some of your favorite designers. Good to see Sylvie, of course, Carol. Carol is one of the most supportive out there. She is on everybody's live streams. My friend and fellow designer Dee is here. Chris joins us. Lori Erickson. Anita is here. Welcome. So glad to have you join us. We decided, Betty and I, that we're going to be brave and we are going to foil live on the air. If our leaders, Heather and Leah, can do it with the new products, so can we. So we're going to go for it and have a blast. What do you think, Miss Betty? Do you think that we can foil today? What are we making?
Oh, yes, definitely. I told you there's a tip I have. Oh, we're making this card here. Well, you probably won't be able to see it with this camera.
Yeah, perfect.
Well.
Yeah,
But,
we see it.
We're using, using the folk art set, the newly released. I have to use glasses for this part. The folk garden. Yeah.
Well, Folk Garden is going to be a lot of fun. Go ahead and take a moment to pull that desktop camera down just a little bit so that we can see your desktop better, and I will show off some of the products that we're using today as well. Again, everybody, welcome to the Craft Hour. We're so glad that you're here. We're using the Folk Garden set, and we're using many elements of it. I got to tell you, the best thing about this is that we have lots of options as far as making this easy. We can do a full set without cutting out the dies, or we can or can't use foil, but decided to do it all today. So that card that you just saw is what we're going to go ahead and make. All right, Miss Betty, I've got my hot foil machine, which is I'm using the Glimmer hot foil system from our friends at Spellbinders. Thank you so much, Spellbinders team, for being so supportive of us. I have that, and I believe that you're using a Gemini. What are you using for your foiling today?
Yes, I'm using a Gemini Junior, but we're going to start by stamping first the background.
Okay.
So we're going to get the background panel out. And I apologize for this setup. We really had the overhead mount camera, and it's like, whatever. It's live.
That's right. It's live. So everybody, I want to go ahead and have her get started. We are taking a baby blue, your favorite baby blue cardstock, and we wanted to make sure we were providing some texture because as you saw, there is the diamond cut that we're going to do on top of it. So let me just show you a little bit. We're going to, I have these pre-cut for us, and then I decided to be really impressive to teacher Betty Wright, and I foiled mine with the Glimmer Press. So it provides a little bit of a background texture. Now, I'll show that on the other camera, and I'll let you know that we are still going to foil live in front of you. I just wanted to make sure that I had a chance to host for just a few minutes. But this is going to be my background. You can see that my friend Betty is going to use stamp. Are you using Versa? What are you using, my friend? That's a fun technique. What you got there?
I'm using. Oh,
that's awesome.
I use one of these to make handles for all my ink pads. Yeah.
Okay.
And it gives
I love that.
Perpendicular.
Betty's already got the tips. I love it. That's awesome. So then you're using your, of course, your stamping system there and making an even press, which is awesome. And what ink you use, Blue Jay? What is that? That is Ocean Breeze, actually, right?
Yes.
Right. So you're definitely providing yourself with a little even coverage there. That's awesome. Going on with layer 2. And so, again, my friends, I decided to foil mine, so mine is going to be ready to go in just a few minutes. And I pre-cut out my die cut for use later in the card. While you do that, Betty, I'm going to go ahead and double layer these diamonds really quick so they'll have a nice dimension to them. Betty, how did you get into card making?
We moved to North Carolina. I mean, moved from North Carolina to Columbus, Indiana in 1999. And, I was a stay-at-home mom then. But prior to that, I was teaching, and I just decided to become a stay-at-home mom. And we needed something to do in the winter. All of a sudden, I'm not saying I have free time because being a stay-at-home mom is anything but free time. But all the moms had, crafts that they were doing to earn a little extra money. And I got into creating keepsakes, scrapbooking. And then I got into, a few years later, stamping. So around 2002, somebody started selling Stampin' Up. So got into that. And then at those times, we had hardly any tools, really. And very little product to choose from. But I was able to, find split coast stampers. And I got in there around 2005, I believe, and started finding other card makers and other people that did what I did and loved to do what I do. Because we moved to Boston in 2003. So, I'm sorry.
Now, Betty, how long have you been an educator?
I know what I'm doing here. I started teaching. I graduated from college in '89, and I did newspapers and education for a while. And I don't know if anyone remembers that. And then, so I would go into schools and teach, using the newspaper. But I had an education degree. And then when my daughter was born in '94, I went back into teaching, just to, I guess, have the summers off and all the things,
Yeah. My partner is a elementary school music teacher, and so he also has the summers off. I'm very jealous. He's got less than 32 days left, I think, until they're finished. So super excited for them. All right, so we have our card base built, and we've got our first little kind of dimension there, which is going to be great. Show everybody your card. Lean it over to the camera, my friend.
Yeah, I feel like I lost the connection. Hold on a second. Where did it go? Oh, there we are. Okay, my card. I just have it on the base right now, just like this.
Sure.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Perfect.
I'm sorry. I was going to do some splatters. Now, this is a splatter box I use, and it is terrible. But I wanted to show you how I do my splatters.
Yeah, please.
I've changed my room around, so now I'm trying to find my ink. Give me 1 second. Here it is. So what I have this Ranger paintbrush that I broke. So this is before
Great.
splattering. But I got tired
Sure.
of cleaning off acrylic blocks to do my splatter. So this box really
Okay.
is headed for the trash. Because I've used it a lot, as you can tell, and I'm cleaning the box. But what I do is just spritz it with a little bit of water, and I take the brush. Now, one thing that is my key here is to mix it with water, splatter on the box somewhere before you put it directly on the card. That way you can control the splatter a little bit more. You're not getting a bunch of blobs because you're getting the majority of that ink you pick up off first. So
Sure.
that's how you can get a little bit more controlled splatter.
Okay.
And I don't
Yep.
put the base on before I do that, but I forgot how to do things. But normally
Betty, I
will
just
clean
have
the
to
brush there
say,
too, but I'll set it to the side for now so we can get started.
right. Betty, I've got to tell you, you are rocking with the tips. You have a lot of ways of doing your techniques that have made it effortless so far. The comments are loving all of your ideas, whether it's the Velcro on the back of stamp pads to get an even pressure upside down or your splatter box. Are you just built on ingenuity like that? You seem to be driven by different ways of doing things. I love it.
When the spider box, I believe Vicky from Greece, I saw her using that and I thought, okay, that's what I'm going to do. But then to just move away from the acrylic block and clean everything in that box, and then I have several of those boxes, so I can just dispose of them, but it gives them a little bit of a second life as well,
Sure. All right, let's get to blending and stamping some more now that we have a background ready to go and drying to the side. Are we going to foil first so that we get it, or do we stencil first?
I'm going to see if my machine comes up here. I'm going to foil. I got it on. Oh, it's good and warm. Okay, and this is another thing. Let me bring out the little, I'm going to set this here. I'm not used to working at this angle, so.
Well, you're doing great, my friend.
Well, thank you. I mean, the show must go on, right? So we have foiling here, and this is the Spellbinder's trimmer tool. And I use mine probably different than most people. I'm going to put my glasses on. I line mine up. So since this is a 5.5 inch, 4.25 by 5.5 inch, I generally trim about 6 inches. And it has a little lever here at the bottom, which I butt up against. And measure it out. So it's technically about 1 inch. And then I'm just going to take that little, I got it like 6 inches right now just to make sure I have coverage. And you just go through and it cuts it beautifully. And when I store my foils, I cut the lids off. So I just put them in there and put them. Something easy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm waiting, of course, as we were focused on other things, my hot foil machine decided that it needed time to warm up and get ready to join the party. So we'll jump over to the comments. Welcome to the Craft Hour, everybody. I'm Jeff Lindberg, your host. Be sure to follow me at Mr. Jeff Lindberg on Instagram, and be sure to share that we're having a good time here at the Craft Hour. We're meeting with Betty Wright from North Carolina, an established designer from Simon Says Stamp to Pink Fresh Studio, joining us this time. And we love having her. We love seeing brand new designers just like you. And as Leah mentioned, she's joining us from Texas, moderating in the sky and following along. Let's check in with the comments to make sure that y'all are doing okay before we get started. Nice to see everybody. I see that fellow designer Anne is here as well. Of course, as I mentioned, Arjita is now here too. Hello, we're so glad that you're here as well. All of our Pink Fresh friends are here as well. All right, my friend. So my platform is almost ready, but I don't want to keep us from going. So go ahead and take us to the next step, my friend.
Okay, so what I have here is I have the full plate and shiny side down. Make sure you have enough. But the problem, and I was telling you about this the other night when we spoke on the phone, that I was having initially when I got my full system is I was fighting to align everything. Well, you don't. These dies are perfect. Just use a half sheet of cardstock. That way, if it comes out and it's not perfect, you should be fine because you're going to die cut it anyway. But it just gives you room for error in terms of not making it straight.
Awesome. So Betty's machine was ready to go because she prepared. I, as you can see, am waiting for my platform ready light. But the good news is, in case it's taking too long, just like a good host, I have one ready to go to be cut down if I have to. So I just wanted to show you all that I could foil live on camera and talk to you at the same time. As you can see, Do you have the big reveal? Did you reveal? You got the reveal. She got it. She got it.
It came off. I think it was good to go. It is gorgeous though. This does not get old at all. I mean, it just doesn't.
That's awesome. All right, my friend, to save some time, I'm going to go ahead and keep us moving really quick. Well, it's just 12:18. We'll take a second. Let me see if I can do it live on camera just to prove to myself that I can foil and host at the same time. You're about to yank out those stencils, though. Have you enjoyed getting the Pink Fresh stencil program underway?
Oh yes. Oh my gosh. When the older you get, lining up stamps sometimes gets a little bit more difficult, but lining up these stencils, I mean, it's just beautiful. Look at that. I mean, I'm gonna put some tape here, some tape down to make sure. See how I have room around this piece of cardstock to do what I need.
It's perfect.
That's why I use a half a sheet. That way I'm not having to try to worry about centering it. But now I can just put this this stencil on top of the full plate and line it up. And I'm going to tape this down too. And then we're going to get stenciling, get to inking up some stuff.
That's awesome. Keep on trucking. I know you were worried about knowing how to keep moving. You're doing great. If you want, you can even tilt your camera down just a little bit, just a hair, just a pinch, so people can see a little bit better. Well, we're doing fine. It is what it is. And Hazel Harper wants to say hi, too. It was. What have you learned about the Pink Fresh stencils in the order? I know that we, of course, know the hashes are on the corner. We know that they're numbered. It makes it semi-effortless. You look like a pro even if you've never done it before. What are some techniques that you've learned about how to do the stencils that work best for you?
Well, I think when you fold, because I'm using a big sheet of paper, I'm not lining up the corners because the images are so perfect and you can obviously see them. I just line it up based off the image.
Got it. Okay.
If I were going to use a stamp on a 4 1/4 sheet of paper, I would probably use the corners, but otherwise, they're easy to line up as they are. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
So yeah,
all right.
Some stencils I look at them. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying my machine finally decided to join the party.
Oh, I do still stencil with foam, only because I know what they're going to do, and I really like to be able to have the ability to just go back and forth if I want to ink blend some and not have to worry about cleaning the brush off. I don't know. I do use the brushes some, but if I had to pick, I do use foam. I know this is probably not ideal in that, moving across that raised edge can tear the foam.
Okay. But I got to tell you, one thing I've enjoyed about getting to know you is your fun personality, but I've also fallen in love with your systems. I notice you have a little Velcro card over there with all of your foam tops ready to go with that color system. You have got your systems down, sister. I love it.
Yeah, well, as I said before, I take care of my mom with Alzheimer's as well. She's lived with us since 2019. And I teach full time. If I come to the classroom, I don't get to do it as often as I want. I would love to be, make cards every day. But when I do get in here, I have to have a system that is efficient.
Sure, I can tell.
Obviously, I did not even print those out. I wrote them because if they do get inky looking, I will discard and just create another. Okay, so I'm going back and forth. You do the rotation, clockwise, counterclockwise.
And as you can see, I just foiled live on camera, very excited. And as Betty shared, who cares how it's aligned? Because you can cut it down later. We're not going to worry about this. That's the whole reason why we have the ability to cut it down. So we love how quickly that came out and how beautiful that gold looks. So Betty, I am going to catch up to you. I'm going to put my spellbinder away.
Okay.
And I know that Leah and Heather have mentioned it before.
Paper and not fight them.
Oh, Betty, I love your idea. It's perfect. I totally agree. Let me see if I can give some light. I don't know if y'all are going to like that light. Let's just maybe we'll turn that We'll turn that off. Okay, so just a quick reminder, Leah and Heather have shared this with you all, but let's say we're not going to cut this down. Let's say you completely stressed yourself out because you foiled in what is called overfoiling. I just want to remind you how effortless it erases away with the most simple eraser. You don't even have to have a craft eraser like I have. You could have a classic high school razor that you used in elementary school, and look how quickly it went away. You can clean up any of your overfoiling lines that you may have errors with. Okay, let me get these stencils out. Betty, are we starting with stencil 1 on this one? I need to catch up to you.
I always generally myself, just because I love green or whatever color leaves, I start with I started with 1 on this one, but there are some I look at the design and decide which one I want to go with first.
Okay, and then you're right. It's perfect. It lines up nicely with those leaves. And let's review what colors we're using today. What color do you have on play here?
Okay, a fresh pear, grassy knoll, and olive for the leaves.
And which is my first one for my first leaves?
I start with the light and move into the dark.
So that's fresh pear is my lightest, right? Now you'll see, everybody, that that Miss Betty has many different colors ready to go. I'm going to be kind of Johnny One Note, so I'm going to start with a lighter hand and hopefully fill in. You'll also notice that she got her smaller daubers out in order to give some detailing to the coloring and bringing and making those leaves pop just a little bit. So, Miss Betty, so many people that are watching have elder care as part of their life, and you mentioned what you're doing to help your mom as well as be an education professional. You also have some kiddos. Tell us a little bit about your kiddos, and then we're going to talk back about your mom for a second. So tell us how many kids you have.
Okay, my daughter is a nurse.
Okay.
I have 2. I have a daughter and a son. My daughter Erica, she's a nurse. She went last year, to travel to Connecticut for COVID at Yale University Hospital, I believe, New Haven. She was there from like April until October. And then my son, he is at ECU, East Carolina University, with a double STEM major in chemistry and biology. He wants to go to Campbell to be a pharmacist.
Awesome. And just for everybody viewing at home, Campbell University is my alma mater, so I love that Dawson wants to go to Campbell University. That's awesome. Camels in North Carolina. I, too, am a Virginia, North Carolina boy, so the minute that Betty and I had our first interview, she was apologizing for her accent, and I, on the other hand, fell madly in love with it because it reminded me so much of home and who I am. So you're from you are living in Rocky Mount. Tell us about what you've learned about yourself with caring about your mom. So many people watching today have elder care as part of their life. What have you learned about yourself?
Let's see. The hard part for me was, the body is still mother. The mind is not. But I didn't want to lie to her, but it got to the point where if she asked me questions repeatedly about stuff that just was irrelevant, I think the biggest learning curve for me was just to have to live in her moment. Like, even if I had to kind of lie, I feel like, God's forgiven. I said, yes, there's nothing happening today. Or, if she saw something or was speaking about something, be in her moment. Because for her, it's real. And I think that has been the hardest thing to learn. Because she's your mom, and you want to reason with her, and you can't. There's no reasoning.
Sure. I recently saw a testimony, as we're going through our Instagram feed like we always have. And my father also fought a slow building dementia based on some issues that he had that I won't get into in the show. But you have to almost listen to it like your favorite song on repeat. You have to give it a moment of living into the repetitiveness of it and just get familiar with the stories, because you're right, they're living in their moment. And it's somewhat fascinating to find out. It's almost like opening up the most brilliant live time capsule that you've ever experienced if you didn't get to, know, for instance, my father when he was younger. So that's fantastic. All right, really quick, before we move on and get back to your family, do I move to stencil 2 and change my greens? What color do I use as my second?
Okay, now on this one, I'm going to start off with grassy note one. I think I'm just going to go straight to olive. And then I'll try to intensify the olive a little bit more at the bottom. Like I'll put, not grassy note. Did I say olive? Yeah, olive. I'm sorry, I have literally people here working on the floor.
Yeah, tell me, you're doing some home renovation as well. How is that going?
Yeah. I think I had to leave yesterday. The stain fumes were a little high, so I left and stayed at Mom's house. We still have her house, obviously, and I went and stayed there a while to get some fresh. But I was away from my craft room, so that wasn't good. But I had to do it during spring break so I could be back and forth.
Right. And is it a big project or a small project, or
the floor stained, so it looks really good. Well, what happened was we had a couple rooms downstairs with carpet. So when Mom came to live with us, I also adopted her cat, who literally tore the carpet up. And I was sitting there thinking, and they couldn't blend the woods because I thought there's no reason to get carpet put back down. So we had to do wood. So in order for them to put the flooring and have everything match, it was just easier to do the whole floor downstairs. So yeah, it's just a big project. All our furniture and refrigerator downstairs is in the garage.
So what color were you recommending for me, going right to that olive for my second?
You do olive with your brush tool, and if you want to do a little bit more detail around the edges and the corners, you just can use a smaller tool to do that. But it's just, look at that. I'm literally sitting here and talking and chatting, which is not really something I do when I craft. And it's just beautiful. They really hit the ball out of the park with these stencils. Oh my gosh.
Well, I think you and I are both sharing the ease of it and how it is sort of an adult color by numbers. You really can't mess up. And for people who are just starting to build their craft stash and maybe don't have the confidence of wanting to get a bunch of products and be frustrated by it, which we've definitely had that. I've had that moment many times myself. What I love about stencils is that it's pretty effortless.
Yes. Yes, stencils, and just get a few tools and there's a lot you can do. But I think the game changer for me was when you start incorporating the stencils with the dies. Because say you were to mess up on one part, that doesn't mean the whole thing's wrecked.
Right.
You literally, have other components to this if you don't want to leave that in the background to work with.
Sure. And the dimension that just that second stencil has already provided has been awesome. I still, in all of these months of hosting, have not done a great job with connecting with each of you in the comments. So thank goodness we have a moderator. You're welcome to join us in the comments, knowing that that is the best part of this show. So I'm going to take a moment and say hi. Cheryl, I see that you're redoing your wood floors as well. Believe me, that's something I want to do as well. And that they love that you're doing this while your flooring is being redone. Yes, she's a pro. Jackie, thank you so much. Always good to see you. Trudy, glad that you're here. And our friend Annalise says, elder care can be loving and don't lose your sense of humor. A great thing to share with your own children. We used to go to the nursing home 3 times a week to share meals with our grandmother, and it sounds like something that she'll never forget. Hey, Dudes Craft 2, Daniel Diaz is here. So glad that you're here. And Heidi agrees that these stencils are fantastic, which is awesome. Yes. Yeah, they make crafters look good at what they're doing. Hey, are you sharing this feed? I hope you are, and I hope that if you're new, you're using #new. Don't forget to use #question if you want a moderator or myself to pick up a question. We already know that Betty has got her different style. She knows how to organize her craft room. She's got her processes down pat. She's got the reds out as well. It's time for us to move some red coloring into this. I take it the reds are going to come out with stencil number 3, right?
3. Yes, I was going to play with the light colors, and the card itself shows a really deep saturation of red. I was going to decide if I want to go that way route today or not as we ink up. Um, I started saying I would like to come back and do this again with the camera.
We will gratefully have you back, my love. Don't you worry. And even us as the full time cast, we still
We worked
have
so hard to get that
technical
stuff
issues.
straightened out.
You did. I will tell you, people. She worked tirelessly the last 2 nights, getting a perfect download system that helps. The thing is that we always watch these shows and our favorite bloggers and YouTube stars, and we forget how much work goes into preparing these videos. And then you're live and you're having to craft at the same time. It's crazy, which is great. It looks like Wendy, that's hilarious. You're not old. You're just consistent and you're a repeat fan. Cassie, welcome to the show. We're glad that you're here. It means a lot that you joined us. Carol has a question. Does Betty have a YouTube channel? Betty, do you have a YouTube channel?
No, I do not. But prior to COVID, I would not even have people take my picture. But the only thing I recorded was literally about a month or so ago. I got the camera stand or phone mount for my desk, and I recorded something and posted it on Instagram. But no, I don't. And the reason I don't is, it's like you said, and even Jennifer mentioned it last time, there's so many hours spent editing. It's one thing just to craft. It's a whole other, game to, edit all that footage,
Yep. Betty, what for my smaller flower, what do you recommend?
Crazy.
What do you recommend for my smaller flower? What red would you like for me to use?
Whichever one you want. I mean, when you say smaller flower, you're talking about like a tiny one down at the bottom. I'm bringing this one back because I decided I want a little bit darker. And that's another thing too. You just bring it around back.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go for passion fruit for these flowers then on stencil number 3.
Yeah.
Again, we can't tell the viewers that it's not effortless and
Yeah,
then worry about it. So I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I like to play with color and blend some stuff, but at the same time, I mean, I look at it and I can put the stencil right back. That's great. I mean,
Yep.
And that's another.
And
Oh, I'm sorry.
no, I was just saying, based on how you bring your brush in, you can intensify certain corners, and it gives it the lift and dimension that is going to make it pop on the card. And don't forget that we are going to be die cutting these out, so they're going to be just smaller parts of the greater whole of the card, which is great. All right. Well, I'm going to put passion fruit away. That's what I used. And I will clean these stencils later. A quick pump of water over them, even some alcohol, some sanitizer, and you got it good to go. Okay, so there's my first red. Now I'm going to bring in, this looks like it's my last stencil though, so I might have to come back with the next one. It's how many stencils? We're on stencil number 5?
It goes back pretty quickly. 4.
And this brings
No, there's
back
only
a
4 in
green,
this
it looks
set
like.
that I know of. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, a 4-piece stencil set.
And then this one brings back a green, or what do I use for this one? The last one.
Which one?
The last one?
It's the bottom of the flowers. I just did those in red, like an intense red, because I really wanted more red on the card too. I mean, you can make it green if you want, but I have
All
mine
right.
red.
Perfect.
Sure do.
Let's see. 4 stencils are in the
original.
set for sure. I just want to clarify. And I am going to use a darker red to make it really pop. I'm using Berrylicious for this last one. This one has a very dramatic, almost cranberry maroon color to it. And it has 3 focal points on the card. So we'll intensify that just a little bit. Betty, where can people find you? They can find you on Instagram, right? Where else?
Instagram is Betty Wright 1234.
So original, Betty.
At the time, I didn't really think I would use it. Can you go back and change it now? I don't know. Because I didn't really get on the Instagram until like a few years ago. I don't know if I've had been there 3 years. Have I? Um, but also things I do with paper. gbedwright.blogspot.com.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
I'm
the
just checking to make
magic
sure all
is
my little parts and pieces are in.
it's time for us to die cut. So I'm going to line mine up, die
It is
cut with
beautiful.
you, and then I'll come back to.
I know at this angle. I know at this angle, no one can probably see what I'm doing, but anyway, I'm getting my sandwich ready, and then I'm gonna put it in my Gemini.
All right. Hope everybody is having fun. I'll get back to the comments in just a second. You know that our friend Leah is moderating from the sky for each of you in our Pink Fresh Studio audience. And hey, Leah just gave everyone the link to your blog in the comments.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
All right, pushing that through my machine. Now, just like we know from our friend Laura Basson, dimension is life. So we're going to add some dimension by stacking some of these. But let me just show y'all what this comes out to be. Cuts it down perfectly for me.
Sorry, I had to move because I moved this set right before we went live, so I had to get my pieces. And everybody see me still
awesome.
a little bit?
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. We're all, both you and I are breaking out our die cuts. And, you know, look, friends, whether you're doing something that is holiday focused, spring focused, the best thing about foiling in these products is that it can be used year round. And whether it's sentiments like Mother's Day or holidays with richer colors, that foiling just takes it to a whole new level, which is fantastic. And the die cutting makes it look like we spent hours on it, but in the reality, we've only been doing this for about 38 minutes. So to pop out such a product so quickly has been awesome.
And I love the fact that this cuts all the pieces differently. So you could literally make several cards with just these pieces, at least a couple.
Yep. So Betty, tell everybody about Jennifer's special project when she was doing for essential workers and how it affected your daughter.
Yes, with my daughter, was sent to Connecticut. Jennifer McGuire sent her one of those mask holders, the plastic ones, and she said she used it until it literally fell apart. And then so. But that was just a godsend. I mean, Jennifer's such a godsend to the industry in so many ways, you know.
Well, we just love on this show taking a moment to honor our essential workers like your daughter. I mean, the nation definitely got through a pandemic due to professionals out there, which is fantastic. All right, so I am going to create just a little bit of dimension from a rehearsal piece that I did earlier. But let's just take a moment to look how elegant that looks, even when you don't have any color for it. You know, a tone-on-tone look is just as fantastic. But I'm going to use it today to provide just a little bit of dimension so that it stacks nicely.
Yeah, and the good news is my daughter and her husband, both of them are nurses and went to Connecticut. She's expecting a baby. I'm going to be a grandmother.
Oh, my goodness. How did they tell you that you're going to be a grandmother? Did they surprise you?
Well, she came in here and told me she was. Well, daughter and I are close in that we talk about anything all the time. So, you know, it wasn't a surprise so much. It was just, you know, hey, I don't want anybody to know yet, but, you know.
Sure. So when is she due, and are you just beside yourself with excitement?
Yes, and it almost seems a little surreal, you know, just coming off the year we've had, you know, and I don't know, it's just everything. You know, it's due. I think in the end of August, 1st of September. So it's just
yeah. Well, Betty, that's the thing that I've loved.
I can't wait because, you know, I mean, just.
Sure. The thing that I've loved about all of the drama that we've been through as a world and as a nation is that we've each kind of found small blessings in everything that we've had to go through recently, you know? And I think you've got to attribute the fact that you're going to be a grandma out of you know,
Mhm.
one of the blessings that came out of this crazy time, you know?
Yes, exactly. Yes, for real.
And and it sounds like Dawson is doing great, and he's going to go change the world too. So you've got a lot to be proud of.
Yes, I mean, really are blessed. I mean, um, and then to be able to, make cards. I mean, this is something I like to do too, just to, you know, keep my sanity. So,
Sure. Well, we often talk on the show about how the fact that card making has kept
okay,
our
so I got all my
sanity
little
through the
pieces
year.
somehow. Oh yes, and that was so great. I mean, because that was really going to the mailbox or opening that front door and seeing the packages. You just got to hand it to all the people who just mailed stuff. I mean, like, all the
Sure.
mail delivery people. Because I tell you, it was a light at the end of the tunnel to be expecting a craft or something come in the mail. Because we're stuck at home and they still get new stuff. When we could or when it was available was
Sure. All right, let's check in with the
great.
comments. Thanks to everybody for watching the Craft Hour. Luann says, love your creations, Betty. We'll need to go back and watch you from the beginning. I love that. That's another thing that the Craft Hour is designed to do, is introduce each of you to amazing designers out there who help us here at Pink Fresh Studio create amazing projects, which is awesome. It's awesome. I can't talk. You do you, Jeff. Kathy, I will continue. I will try. I started following your Instagram page. It's beautiful, says Shree Robinson. That's great.
Oh,
And
thank you.
Julie agrees that this is definitely a therapeutic craft life that we all have, which is good. And people are so excited to know that you're going to be a North Carolina granny and Rocky Mount. That's awesome. Okay. All right. Hazel Harper's here and chatty, and I'm going to go ahead and build my card really quick. So as you remember earlier in the show, everybody, I guess it would help if it was the right screen. Did I put it? Nope, I'm just a picture of me. Let's move it over to the desktop. I already foiled my background, and as you can see, Betty said, hey, let's do that diamond gate cut, and let's juice it up from there. So we're going to go ahead and get this all set. As you know, everybody, Hazel Harper says hello, sends love. Let me make sure that I get this on there correctly. Now, a little bit of a tip that I could have used is I could have used, let me get this lined up, because I could have used this, which I should have done. Stand by for just a second, just to make sure that I get it lined up perfectly. And Betty, I know that you were worried about our timing. I want you to know, I don't know if you've seen the clock, but we are doing just fine. We are perfect on our timing.
Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, I still have to, put my embellishments on once I get this all together.
So Betty,
I'm trying to.
Betty, any favorite TV shows that you and the hubby or you are binge watching or enjoy? Are you TV people?
Yes. What was that one? I can't remember names because I binge watch so much stuff. It's hard for me to remember all the names. The one where it was like a mini series where it has Bono's daughter plays the role. The name
I
of it.
don't
And that's
know.
terrible. I can't remember. I'm just in.
So everybody in the comments, you've got to tell us which TV show Betty is talking about. It's like a game. It's our game for today's episode.
It's on Netflix.
It's
Yeah,
on
it's like
Netflix.
Netflix. It was on Netflix, and it was
All right. Well, we're gonna have to research. I'll look in the comments and figure
just
out.
sitting here
People are saying
playing.
hi to Hazel Harper. Jeff, join Can Talk the Crowd. I always say. Always, yes, I agree. Scoreboard to line up the panels. That's perfect. Bella agrees. It's so therapeutic. Gives a thumbs up. I love Barb. Barb, that's a good idea. Give this a thumbs up. Look, this card could be great just like this. This is awesome. Would help if I put it in the right thing. Look at that. It's great. All right, now time to add some dimension. Did you just kind of fits and futs and find out a perfect space to put your...
Yeah, I'm playing with how I want to do this particular card.
Perfect. And I decided to use the
already have
coordinating
that
cut
completed
set.
one, but I was trying not to use all the pieces this time. Trimming up the
Sure. Before the show, I took a moment to do the brand new coordinating cut of Best Wishes. It comes as part as a die as well as a gold emboss, and it makes this beautiful Best Wishes. And I decided to use that same blue. This blue is from our friends at Spellbinders. This is their Glimmer Sky Bright, and I thought that it worked perfectly, which is going to be great. So that will kind of give you an idea of where I'm headed with my card. And Betty, I love that you brought out the black, perfect sentiment color. People want to know is if the show is called Behind Her Eyes.
Yes, thank you. Lord have mercy. And when I'm crafting, I can't do the left side of the brain when I'm crafting.
So
that was so good.
Do you know that I've officially never heard of it? So I'm so glad that y'all gave me a new TV show to watch, which is great. Look at this, friends. I wish that we could see
all those.
Oh, WandaVision was so good, and I just want to thank everybody for helping me pay my pension. If you have Disney Plus, I appreciate it, everybody. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some dimension on this card with some
I'm trying to decide if I'm going to leave the corner blank.
Say it again?
I was just playing with this piece of paper. I'm trying to decide if I want to leave. I may just put that little sprig right there. Just like that. So pretty.
All right.
Might have to press it in a minute.
Let's see.
Oh wow, look at that.
Friends, I'm not going to give some dimension to this. I'm just going to I'm going to leave it non-dimensionalized. Betty, how are you feeling? Is the card coming out how you wanted it to come out?
Well, yes, and I'm sometimes looking at. I mean, it's a little paler green. If I mean, that's fine too. It just shows the versatility of the inks. You can go, deep and dramatic or lighter, depending on. That's another thing I like about the foams too, is this one has a lot more drama because it's darker greens. This one's a little softer.
I know.
That's what you're into.
I loved the suggestion that you made about layering. I can tell you that automatically this gives an elegance as well as a richness to the card by giving it some heft. When it doesn't have, if it's too thin or it doesn't have a strong base to it, it feels like you didn't work as hard on it, All right. Okay, friends, I am going to slow down. I'm going to slow down and come back. I'm going to slow down and I'm going to finish this off camera. But yeah, that's going to be great. I just want to pop and kind of figure out some stuff. But that foil in the background just gives it such dimension and such life. And the colors that Betty picked out for us are just fantastic. So that's great. And as you know, everybody, I'll finish this off camera and I'll get it posted for each of you. And Betty, I foiled live on camera. I can't believe it. That shows that it's pretty effortless, Hey, everybody. I hope you've been having fun with the Craft Hour. We've learned so much. I learned about a brand new television show called Behind Her Eyes on Netflix. Supposedly, I should be watching it. I'll have to tell Dan that we're watching it. So someone left a comment about the screen being blank, and it isn't. So I just want to let you know, I promise the screen's not blank. We got a live feed going here, and we're looking good. I got to tell you, everybody, because Betty needs to hear this. Betty worked so hard to get her shot and her camera working correctly for each of you. It was a beautiful shot that literally even this morning we had, but of course, 6 minutes before the show, the battery runs out on her real camera. So, Betty, I got to tell you, for it being that close to showtime, this has been an angle that I think we can all attest to. And we just love your little gimmicks that you have. Your little ways of doing things have been a delight. Everybody, one of the reasons you've been commenting along is that we love to give away a gift card. That's one of my favorite parts of being on the show. It makes me feel like a host on The Price is Right, because This Oprah Winfrey moment of giving out a gift card is my favorite thing. So I just want to let you know, Bella Popish, you, my friend, have the coolest name out there, and you also have a $15 gift card coming your way from Pink Fresh Studio. Be sure to send Leah a message at Leah@PinkFresh. Just give her some time because, as you know, she's traveling, and she'll send out a $15 gift card. And there's awesome deals and specials available on our website right now. And all of the designers from Pink Fresh Studio are offering this week's special, which is fantastic. All right, Miss Betty, hold those up to the camera because those are too pretty not to show off just a couple more times. What you got there?
Oh, yeah. I do want to say that the sentiments come from Floral Notes stamp set.
Perfect. Floral Notes. So bring them right up to the clamshell. There you go. Look at that, everybody. Perfect array of colors. 2 cards that she did, and just today only she knocked out those 2. That's how easy it is. Tilt that camera back up, Betty, and let's talk to the audience for just a second and make sure there isn't any other questions before we go, because it's been a delight to get to know you a little bit more. Yes. And of course we got to get excited for Bella. Bella got her gift card, which is awesome. So, Betty, what did you learn about your first live? Tell everybody what you would like everybody to know about live, but make sure that Dee doesn't hear this because then she won't be on the show with me.
Yeah, I was Instagram chatting with Dee about, so when are you going to do it? But the big thing is, the camera part, getting that camera, and it was beautiful. And I did want to say, if you do have a Canon camera, since the world went through a pandemic, they do have things you can download that allows you to just use your Canon cameras. It goes back a long ways too, to project on a Zoom call. And we had it all set up, and then all of a sudden, a battery that charged overnight did not want to work. But what I learned is it's not as frightening as you think it is. I thought literally going to this, I would be a bucket of nerves. But today I was really calm until about 6 minutes before. But then I don't really feel like it's live because I felt like I was just here talking to Jeff. I don't know I don't have any feed.
Right. That's the best part.
Let me know who's out there or not.
But Betty, here's the best part about surviving a pandemic and getting out of your comfort zone is that you learn big things and you learn how to be a bigger, bolder woman. And I love that about you. And I've watched you from the email of you saying yes, grow already, and you just survived your first craft hour, which is great. And the audience is already losing their mind. They love you and they think that you're a delight. I told Leah after rehearsal that I loved your personality and it made me feel so comfortable. So believe me, you'll be back on the show. Don't worry. Hey, everybody, don't forget to follow her on Instagram. She's building her Instagram community.
Battery. I just never used it.
You'll have it better for next time, which is good. And everybody, I want to officially ask you to inundate Dee as well as Yaz, Crafty Yaz, to be on the show with me. At this point, I'm going to use each of you to help me get them on the show. Hey, our friends from scrapbook.com are here. Hi, scrapbook.com. You never know who it is at scrapbook.com. It's mystery. We never know who's watching us, but we just know scrapbook.com is here, a proud supporter of the show. Thank you so much. And I think I'm about to release a podcast with scrapbook.com on their Life Handmade podcast. It should be out in a couple of weeks, days. I'm not quite sure. The good news is we've recorded it and it's about to come out. So if you want to find out more about me and my life with Pink Fresh Studio, as well as my other shows that I do, stay tuned to that. Get it on your favorite app, whether it's Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it is. And you can also check out our moderator in the sky. She was also featured in Life Handmade podcast by scrapbook.com. All right, Miss Betty, it was a pleasure to get to know you. I can't wait to get to know you more, and we'll have you on future episodes of the Craft Hour. Sound good?
It does sound great. And thank you so much for all your help and all the people at Pink Fresh Studio. I appreciate it. Leah, Heather, Canary, did I pronounce her name correctly?
Kennery, yeah.
Okay. Kennery.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a I have 3 amazing boss babes. They are awesome. Women who are changing the earth and making sure they're leaving it in a better place, which is makes me even more proud. All right, let's go enjoy this Saturday. Thank you each joining us. Be sure to catch us on the replay. If you'd like other episodes, they're available now to watch, comment. I'll connect with each of you on each comment, I promise. And of course, keep staying tuned to all the releases that Pink Fresh Studio has coming up. Always a pleasure to see you. See you next time. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you later.